Let's go. Yo, welcome to another edition of Gen Sports Corner. Back at you with the back at you. Week 12 NFL slate. I got my man
D.
here. Introduce yourself, sir.
Peace. Tune Philaczar, beautiful black children, UTN Radio, 2-hour show. Appreciate you having me, Lord. Let's get
Absolutely.
into this incredible week of sports we've been having and going to continue to have.
Absolutely. Before we get into the NFL stuff, let's talk about last night's fireworks, man.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. First of all, big up to Mike Tyson for having the Legends Only League that he started. I was not aware that was actually his league. The fight was the fight card was interesting. We're talking about, for those people that may not know, the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. exhibition fight.
Mm-hmm.
It had a full card. What was your opinion of the fight? What was your reaction to it first and foremost?
It exceeded my expectations. It wasn't that I wasn't expecting much. I just didn't think that they would be
Competitive.
as sharp as they were. You know what I mean? I thought Mike was going to be there. I didn't know if Roy Jones was going to have the legs, and he had the legs. I liked it, man.
Right. Me, myself, I like to back up by saying a few were there any differences, or what did you like about the actual league itself? Like, because, again, this is during the time of covert. There's no audience.
Yeah.
They did change it up a little bit with the entertainment. The ring was smaller. Did you notice that?
Absolutely. And I think there's an obvious reason for that. And Roy knew that coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
That main event, before we get to that main event, I'd like to speak about some of the card leading up to it.
Yeah.
One of the first bouts, I think they were fighting at about 125, 130.
I think it was Ortiz, right?
Yeah,
And Zingawa.
That actually was, for me, the most entertaining fight.
Absolutely. And there was a fight yesterday, well, not yesterday, but Friday night. Danny Jacobs was fighting Philly's own Gabriel Rosado.
Right.
And that was a dud. They was talking a lot of trash coming into that fight. And Gabe Rosado, I mean, he didn't look spectacular, but he came out to fight. Danny Jacobs looked like he was on cruise control. Like, I'm here to just get you out the way to get to my big payday. And he didn't take this fight seriously. So, like, that was disappointing. And then fast forward to last night, those two dudes, Ortiz and Zungawa, they looked like they came out from the bell, throwing punches, not playing grab ass.
They
were
came
there.
out serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
They came out the box. They came out to put on not just a show, and because a lot of people say they come to put out a show. They came for business. They came for work. They came for what they're. So I like that fight. Some of the other fights, I would like to say they probably should have had a little better planning, not because the idea was wrong, but it was poorly executed. Of course, people are going to hear a million memes about Nate Robinson and his bout. I'm not going to really go into that, except to say I think that both corners should have had a bit more preparation. There's no way that man goes in there like that and rushes like that, and they're not aware that that's his temperament. They may not know whether or not he learned the lessons, but you're aware that his temperament is. You're aware that he's not even holding his hands.
Yeah.
Right.
It's inexcusable.
Yeah. It was inexcusable. It's like he went in there like it was a madhouse. So that I didn't like, because he could have seriously gotten hurt, and I know a lot of people are going to take the time to make memes, and so that's things like that is what we don't want to see. We want to see not just a competitive boxing match, but we want to have a safe event. So that was interesting. The first fight, like I said, that was very nice. I like the music. Let's cut straight to Roy and Tyson. Tyson looked as deadly as always. Although that wasn't hard to do up against, he is 54, 55. He looked sharp. He looked eager to fight. I would have liked him to be up against a bigger, stronger opponent, not necessarily younger, but someone who was a little bit more equivalent in size and mass. Although Roy is a phenomenal boxer, technician, the the years did show.
Absolutely.
In terms of not so much his skills, because you saw whenever he went to put on skills, it was good. The rush showed in terms of the aggression. The Roy Jones that we are familiar with would have been more aggressive or would have been a little bit more aware of the points and whatnot. Roy seemed to not. The matches were 2 minutes, eight rounds, 2 minutes apiece. That's another difference besides the smaller ring.
They needed that.
Yeah. The 2 minutes was good. I don't really think it allowed for enough time to operate. I think 3 minutes is a good time to operate.
2 minutes. All right, so
3 minutes is better. As a 3 minutes are a better time to operate. I think the 2 kind of cuts you short, just as you're learning your opponent's rhythm and whatnot. Then they got a chance to go back to their corner and get instruction. I didn't like that.
I think it was necessary. Honestly, if you can either have 8 rounds, 2 minutes, or you can have 6 rounds. See, I don't think they could get through 3 minutes at this point, though. That's right. My thing. So it's you need that first minute and a half to figure out what your opponent is doing for that round or what their plan A, B, or C is going to be for the first 3 rounds. But for them, first the ring. I mean, we've seen this throughout boxing history. I mean, going back to the 50s, 40s. I think Jack Dempsey. I'm trying to think of which heavyweight fight it was where they lost and they came back and they had a different size ring. Like, people have always done those things, but that's only going to benefit Mike because it's allowing him to cut the ring off more.
It allows him to cut the ring off.
Roy knew that coming into the fight. Same thing with the minutes. Having 2-minute rounds is only going to favor Mike because it's going to allow him not to gas out because he's going to want to come forward and apply pressure. So when that 2 minutes is up, he's able to sit down, take a rest. Because if you allow for 3 minutes, that's going to be deep waters for him, right?
Right.
And Roy at this point, be honest with you. I mean, so is it ideal? No, but was it ideal for their age and the point in physically where they're at? Yes, I think so. Because it allowed them to stay as fresh as they could possibly be.
Oh, in order to give you a good, I didn't like the clutching. What would you contribute Roy's constant clutching to?
That's just a dirty trick of the trade. I mean, we want to look back to like Bernard Hopkins and Floyd Mayweather and so on and so forth. Is it illegal according to the Marcus of Queensberry rules? No, but it is allowed to a certain extent. For whatever reason, he's doing that to try to tire Mike out. That's his way of evening the playing field, right? Like, you're getting the short ring, you're getting the short rounds. Let me tie you up to try to tire you out. Because especially if I'm slightly taller, I can lean on you. When you're the bigger guy, I can try to tire you out a little bit. And I think you saw that in round, like the middle of round 5, like Roy was looking gassed, but he started to get that second breath because, like Mike wasn't gassed, but he was definitely not moving around as fast as he was in rounds 3 and 4.
Indeed. A couple things I wanted to speak on in terms, because I was a little curious why Mike did not make it, or why it was not more widely publicized that this was Mike Tyson's league. I and I have a lot of good things to say about it. But I like to give a little bit of criticism too. One of the few things that I want to criticize is that in that type of environment, make sure that the cameras, you don't have an audience, so you have a rare opportunity, because as we do a show, and when you have an opportunity to put extra cameras around to make it sharper, to make it more exciting. The NFL has done this, the NBA has done this. I don't know why baseball hasn't yet, but that's a little bit different. But when you have an environment where there's no audience, where you're not just depending on what's going on in the ring, but you really want to get every angle, every hit, every punch. Roy, unbeknownst to most people, really hit Mike with some nice shots.
He did.
But we didn't get a chance to see it because they were more focused on the singers and rappers and the hype, and they had the boy as a host. You should have had cameras so that no matter who was hit, how they was hit, when they were hit, we capture it. That was something they may not have been aware of. Right now, I'm speaking more about the media aspect of it, not so much the sport of it. For a league to be successful, you must properly catalog the intellectual property. You must make sure the camera angles are sharp. You got to make sure that there's enough excitement to happen, period. I think that fight could have been more spectacular if we had the angles to where we actually could see. That way we could react. What happens in boxing all too often is you see one representation when you're live there at the match. You see another representation when you're watching it live, and then you see yet another representation when you are recording it, when you are watching the film, when you're watching the tape. And all three of them are accurate to their extent. For Mike to really be successful with this league, he really needs to sit down and talk to his media advisors. I know he has the boxing part down pat, but it must be presented in a better manner as far as the cameras, as far as the you have to pump in ambiance. We know there's not a crowd, but there must be a slight atmosphere of someone is there. You don't want to have this feeling of just being, because it doesn't give the fighters anything to feed off of. I saw that in Roy's face a few times where it's like, well, I don't have nothing to get me pumped, and on top of that, I'm fighting off or fending off against what really is a force of nature in all-time boxing. Yeah. So for Mike Tyson, the league it was a good beginning. I like the exhibition. I like some of the matches that you set up. Right. I really think that you need to go about the meet. Another thing, the guy that Nate Robinson fought, he was one of the only people that they actually had a conversation with. If you're going to speak to them, speak to all of them. Either before or after. Overall, it was a good business transaction for Mike. I'm not quite sure what it is to the boxing culture just yet, because I know a lot of people are really not going to like what happened to Nate Robinson, because he's greatly respected as an NBA player. Even though he wasn't a legend, he definitely was someone that was respected. He was someone that when he got on the court, he gave 100%. And I know that he's someone that knows the importance of training. So to have him come in and swing wildly like that, really, I know some people want to say that about him, but the overall look of things, and then they placed that fight right before Mike and Roy. I wasn't sure about that. It's like the media half of it, I wasn't sure what the marketing plan really was, except for to get people to buy it. Fortunately, Roy and Iron Mike Tyson did give us their show, a good show on their behalf.
So here's why.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so here's where I partially agree with you, and then I partially disagree. I agree with you that I thought it was a good fight. They have things that they can clean up on the media side with camera angles. I agree with you. So they had the Jake Paul fight there because of the hype behind it. So
was that the title bout one?
That wasn't the title bout
one. No. Yeah, there was a title fight last night too.
I think that was the Ortiz and Gawa fight.
Yeah.
So they could have had that one before the main event. That would have made more sense to me.
It really would have.
Even though it wasn't the most hyped fight, that would have made the most sense to me.
It was the best fight. It was the better fight.
Right. Because when it comes down to it, there's nothing that they can know about where Nate Robinson is with his training. Like they can't know. You know what I mean? Like even with Jake Paul. Jake Paul in his first fight was way more prepared in his first fight than Nate Robinson was coming into his first fight against. Think about it. Jake Paul's only had one boxing match. He's 1-0. Right. Like 1-0, 1 KO. Like he's not an experienced fighter, but his training has paid off. Even in the first fight when he was just learning, he looked a lot better than that. Like he knew how to keep his hands up. Even with Nate rushing in the way he did, when he came back to that corner, his trainer has to say, look, whatever you do, keep your hands up. If you don't keep your hands up, I'm going to stop the fight. That has to be the message you're sending.
That's what should have happened. Someone should have even advised him, like, listen, I'm thinking about your safety. Yeah. We're probably going to have to stop this fight if you don't actually show me some boxing skills, because this was not you weren't supposed – he came in fighting – Nate came in swinging as if he had a grudge against him rather than a young man someone was actually trying to execute a good match. He looked like he just was mad at him for no reason. That's not what we hear. That's not what boxing is about. like I say, all of that was good. The only reason why I mentioned the media part is because, like I say, I was taking aback once I realized it was Mike Tyson's league, because I would have thought if that was your baby, let us know it's your baby so that we can support it properly.
So I think that I mean I felt as though I knew it was his league. I thought he advertised it pretty
He
well.
made it pretty good.
Yeah, and I
stand corrected them because you again, you are in that boxing world a lot more than I am. They were successful in bringing in the people that normally watch boxing. A lot of people watch this strictly on the star
this was
power.
huge. I mean, Twitter blew up. I mean, this this was a huge night, like beyond what anybody expected. And I think he did a great job of not only promoting the fight but promoting his brand with the marijuana and company he's running.
I saw that.
Right? That was phenomenal the way he did that. And I think that, to your point, this is a learning experience. This is the first event they put on, but I thought they did a phenomenal job. They have some loose ends to clean up, but and they did phenomenal considering the circumstances, because you're so limited. Like a couple months ago with the UFC events, you were able to have, I don't know, 20 people in the crowd, between the each fight camp, they allowed you to bring in like 10 people. So you had a little bit of a crowd in there with the pumped in noise. Whereas now with the cases going up, you can't have nobody in there outside of judges.
Wow.
So you're working with what you got. And that happened to Danny Jacobs last night, where he's in there fighting, knowing that he has money on the line, but he's like, nobody's here. It doesn't feel the same. Like, as a professional, you just have to do your best.
Right.
The same way as like the baseball players, they're up the bat and there's nobody in the stadium. Like, there's just crowd noise. Right? So you just have to do your best. I mean, Bryce Harper, he was still waving to the stands, pretending like people were there, just like psychologically.
That's actually smart, and that actually does work. And at some time, I'd like to, not in this particular episode, but I'd like to really talk to you about, does the lack of fans affect the quality of sportsmanship?
100%. And I can tell you that from, I don't know if you played sports in high school or whatnot,
I did.
Grade school. So like, the feeling of, even if it's 10 people there, just like your parents and community, people just watching the game, there's a certain energy you get from getting booed or cheered, whatever.
Right.
I mean, or seeing the other team get cheered. Like, you have a certain feeling that might push you in a way that you otherwise wouldn't.
You may have not have normally. Right.
So I think that's also why they're getting paid the big bucks. You got to figure it out and be able to adjust to the circumstances. Not saying it's easy, but you have to, because they're still expecting you.
And I don't want to jump ahead, but when we go to the other topic, I really would like to talk to you about how it's affecting affecting the quality, affecting the outcome of games.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let's just jump into that right now.
Yeah.
Let's jump into basketball.
Since I brought it up, I'm gonna say it. What's going on with Broncos? Like, how are you feeling about this decision from? Is it Denver that has no quarterback? All four of their quarterbacks are gone.
Yeah.
Okay, why didn't the league push the date back like it was requested, so that all of their receivers they have a wide receiver at quarterback? That's unheard of.
No, they're going to have they signed a starting quarterback from the practice squad, so they're going to have a starting quarterback. But yes,
are they?
Yeah,
that's a last minute thing, because I just was reading on the internet, they got a brother by the name of Kendall Witten.
I think that's the guy.
Yeah, that is the guy, but he's on the practice squad. But guess what? He is not. Pardon me. He is not. He's a wide receiver. He can throw. He threw in. This will be his first game. Period. His first game ever, professionally. I please hope I'm wrong. Because I tried to be professional and write a couple notes and whatnot. A couple notes. So I at least
What? Yo, there's
Kendall Hilton.
Kendall Hilton.
Is that correct?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't started in the league yet. I mean, is what. Sources say, this is from ESPN 3 hours ago. Okay. Denver Broncos bid to start an assistant coach at QB denied by the league.
They asked them. Yeah, they wanted to have no. In all honesty, though, they should have been allowed to. Just like you
Right.
receive a ring.
Yeah.
If you are on the team, I should be able to enlist the assistance of anyone who is on my staff
These
and
are
on my team.
special circumstances, extenuating circumstances,
Yeah,
right?
you know,
If you're not going to push the game back for me to allow guys to declare protocol, like why wouldn't you allow me to use?
I know it's apples and oranges, but if I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Olajuwon as my center coach in the NBA, and this covert shut down my center, I can't activate my coach who I'm already paying.
Right.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Right.
But but my reason for mentioning the Broncos thing and period is that I think that some of the way that this covert situation is being handled with that league specifically almost seem to nit and pick who comes up with covert and who they decide to sit down because of interaction and whatnot. So that's an interesting thing. But what games are you interested in really seeing go down today? I know that Chiefs Bronco thing is on everyone's palate.
Broncos are playing the Saints.
Excuse me, Buccaneers. The Buccaneers and Chiefs.
Buccaneers, Chiefs. Yeah, that's going to be the game of the day right now to me, because you got TB12 going against Mahomes, and they're both in spots where they need to win this game to claim control of their divisions.
Right.
So all right. So because the Eagles game is tomorrow, so I'm going to talk about that game last, and then
no need to. It's Monday night game
before that. But let's start off with that one. So you have TB12 coming off last week's performance. He bounced back from the game before, which was horrible. Where he got shut down by the Saints, right? Got embarrassed on national TV. He bounced back. I think that was against the Panthers, right? Yeah, Buccaneers.
He gonna have the funny thing about that is the Saints is gonna have a headache today. So the whole league is gonna be up in arms. It's when I saw who was being shut down and who was being activated, I'm like, this isn't even the people that you practice and watch film for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Like the people you went to watch film for ain't even in the game in most of these games.
I know, and in this case, you always want to be able to have film on people, but this guy is just so inexperienced. Like they're going to eat, man. That Saints defense is sitting back, just like getting their napkins, tucking them in, getting their fork and knife out. You know what it's about to be, man. It's going to be slaughter.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to talk about that game. I'm going with the Saints. It's just about how much they're going to win by. And that makes the Tampa Bay Chiefs game more important because the Saints are right on their heels. You got Taysom Hill coming in, not missing a beat. They're about to roll over these Broncos, and that makes it so the Buccaneers, them niggas got to win tonight.
Yeah.
The Saints is right there. Drew Brees or no Drew Brees.
Right there.
And they're going against Mr. $500 million. They're not coming out to play.
This is going to be or in all honesty, though, as I'm actually looking over the schedule, there seems to be a few games that matter in the standing, but most people right about now are just jockeying with blinders on, not really caring about their opponent this week. Really, they really are looking forward, which I don't really like. A lot of teams are looking forward towards example with the Eagles, Washington, New York, all of them. Supposedly, our particular division is so horrible that it's shining light on divisions where people are going to have – we're going to see another year where you have 8-9 win teams that won't make the playoffs. This is pushing people to ask for a different way to do the playoffs, especially with this covert thing. So I'm interested to see games like today, such as the Saints and Broncos game. Actually, I only see one or two games that really seem to match, like the Titans and Colts. That's a interdivisional thing right there. But most of the other games, I hate to say it, but it seems almost inconsequential when you can have a winning schedule and not make the playoffs, or have a horrible schedule and make the playoffs.
Okay, so let's go through it. Let's go through the games and talk about
the
ones.
1 o'clock games. We got
right, so
Charger Bills.
we got Charger Bills. Bills 7-3, Chargers 3-7. Bills favored by 4 points.
How you feeling about that?
There's some people that have the Chargers upsetting the Bills. I got the Bills winning this game, but the Chargers, Justin Herbert, and that offense, they're going to be right there. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. What you think? I got Bills winning.
It's possible. I'm with you. I really don't see no way that the Chargers should allow it to happen. But it right now is anyone's. Anyone can win in a lot of these same games because where they usually say every year that you are what your ranking says you are.
Yeah.
This is one year that may not necessarily be true because you have teams that have horrible, like you said, Chargers are 3-7, Bills are 7-3. But a lot of games this year have been close.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of games this year, you'll have one great game and then the next game you don't even have your people. So I expect the Bills to win. I hope it to be competitive, but yeah, the Bills should dominate this one. It should be a shot if the Chargers pull off an upset, which I have heard too. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
we're going with Bills there definitely. So we in agreement there.
All right. Next game on here, the dumpster fire Giants versus the Bengals. Giants 3-7, Bengals 2-7-1. Giants are favored by 6.5 points. That's a prime example of
what I'm talking about.
Giants are going to blow these dudes out the water because Joe Burrow's gone now for the year. So I don't know what the hell the Bengals are going to do on offense.
What happened to the Bengals, man?
Joe Burrow got
for a moment it seemed like they were retooling. What happened?
They got a devastating knee injury to Joe Burrow last week. So that's setting them back right now. Because they did look promising. I mean, the record, yeah, they're not a good team record-wise, but the offense was starting to come around because that dude, along with Justin Herbert, the rookies this year, but he's out now, so they might as well just wrap it up for this year in Cincinnati.
So in that particular game, New York and Bengals,
mm-hmm.
New York may take it. What are they fighting for at this point? Like, does New York have a chance to get up there and jockey for position along with the in their particular division, being as though it's so horrible?
Yeah, they're a game behind Washington. They're right there. Yeah.
He said sure.
Sure.
So they have fuel.
Washington's 4-7. Washington's 4-7. The Giants are soon to be 4-7. So they're right there, dog.
Right there.
Next game on the docket. Now this is a big game. Titans at the Colts, both 7-3, jockeying for position at the top of the AFC South. What you got, man? Colts are favored by 3 points.
Who's favorite?
Colts are favored by 3 points at home.
To be honest with you, I'm really looking at this game to be a defensive game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that both of them come to play because the offense on either side right now, I don't think will be the deciding factor. Do you see a high scoring game or a low scoring game?
I see I think there'll be maybe 47, 48 points. So maybe like a 24-21 game. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring.
Okay.
The Colts have a little bit more firepower on offense with just the diversity of weapons. Even though
I ain't gonna lie, I like the Colts, but don't tell nobody. I like the Colts in that one. See, I always say that because you know with the Titans, I got a sincere love for Titan because they had a one of their star players years ago was from Philly, so I just keep an eye to them. But yeah, the Colts definitely. Honestly, I'm going to sit back and watch this game with just as much intensity as I do the Chiefs and Buccaneers game. Because I want to see competitive games, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to go
competitive games.
It's same, man. That's why I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. Next game on the docket, we got the Cardinals playing against the Patriots. Cardinals favored by 1 point. Big game for the Cardinals too in the NFC West.
And you know what? There might be an upset in this one.
Ooh.
There might be an upset in this one. And not necessarily an upset based upon a high score. Again, I think right now the defenses want to prove something. The defenses in most football games don't really get a lot of shine unless they do a lot of interceptions and stuff like that. which
Yeah.
we haven't been seeing from most teams. But right now, in that particular game, I think the defenses both will step up. I think that the Patriots defense will do more. So the question is, are the Cardinals going to be able to, and I know they will, be able to up their offense,
Yeah.
put points up on the board? You know, the Patriots will not win this scoring. They're going to win this stopping the scores of the Cardinals
So
and
I
getting
think
defensive stops.
I'm gonna go with you. I think the Patriots going to upset them based off the defense. Their
Yeah,
offense
yeah.
isn't nothing to write home about, but neither is the Cardinals defense. So I think this might be an upset.
The Cardinals have the potential to be an explosive offense. The problem with them more is that, again, everyone is out of rhythm with this particular special year right now. So
Absolutely.
if there is to be any upset, first of all, the Patriots are a very prideful team. They take it personal that Brady left, and everyone's looking at, oh, we ain't going to be nothing without Brady. I think they're going to show you that, well, even without Brady, we're going to put our hands and paws and feet on people. So, I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, and I'm going to take the Patriots.
Yeah, same here. So let's run through the rest of these real quick so we can get to the Eagles Raiders.
Enough said.
Dolphins Jets. Dolphins favored by 7.5. You think Jets gonna get their first win?
Hell no. Hell
I
no.
agree. Jets.
Nobody wants to be the one that the Jets get their first win on. Nobody.
Jets ain't winning this game. I got Dolphins next on the docket. We got the Doo-Doo Browns. I can't call them the Doo-Doo Browns no more, man. They are the Browns, right? They're the
This
Browns.
game's going to be an annihilation.
Yeah, they're going to annihilate the Jaguars. They favored by 7.
It's going to be annihilation because the Browns have been at the bottom. They've been the doo-doo Browns for so long. They want to flex their muscle. They want to make sure people know that this is not a fluke. This is not just because of the season. We are serious. Expect the Browns to run up the score if at all possible.
Absolutely. 49ers playing against the Rams. Rams favored by 7.5 points. So you got, man. I mean 5.5. My bad.
Honestly, again, this really looks like another game where they may be equal in line. I don't think the 49ers are going to go away quietly. I don't believe they'll be able to pull it off. Look for something close, though.
Yeah, I disagree. I think they're going to put it to them. The Rams going to put it to the 49ers.
You think they're going to smack them around horribly?
Absolutely. Next game, Bears playing the Packers. Packers favored by 8. What you got?
Actually, Packers. Chicago doesn't seem like they're really like. Who's it? Foles? Who's the other quarterback there?
Trubisky.
They have 2 quarterbacks. They have confidence in. That would normally be okay for some people. Decide who the team is going to rally behind.
Yeah.
Decide who the team is going to rally behind. The Bears look good. I don't think they're going to look good enough to beat the Packers.
Absolutely agree. I got the Packers winning this because Mitch Trubisky is going to be a liability.
Yeah.
And then next to last game, Raiders Falcons. Raiders favored by 3.5 points against Atlanta. Who you got, man?
Raiders, dominantly, and that ain't just because they fan favorites.
Good choice. Good choice.
I don't think the Falcons' head has been in the season at all. The 3 wins they got are accidental, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They haven't had their head in the game at all. Yeah. And then the Raiders is on a high with the move.
No, we should have beat the Chiefs last week, man.
Like I said, a lot of these wins and losses are deceptive in all of these games. Because I've watched a lot of these games and took a nap and woke up like, they lost? Like, it's been a real unpredictable season. But, yeah, I expect the Raiders to take it. Question, who did we run past the Panthers-Vikings?
We did not.
1 o'clock.
So, Panthers-Vikings at 1 o'clock. Vikings favored by 3 points.
Honestly, I'm not really sure on this one. The
I'm
Vikings
going Panthers, man.
You going Panthers? Yeah, that's what I say. I'm not really sure on this one because media, which me and your false media, we don't need it, do we? Media is running Vikings. I'm not really feeling the Vikings over Carolina right now. I think Carolina's going to fight.
I agree.
I think Carolina's going to fight. See, what's happening in this year of COVID is you have grown men that are used to going out there and hearing the admiration of fans. They're used to hearing the cheers. They're used to hearing people tap on their neck, on their back. Now, all they have is me whooping your butt out there on the field.
Yep.
I don't have the benefit of running through the tunnel and hearing the people. So my admiration right now is me whooping you badly. And I think Carolina's going to try. They're gonna try to stand up.
Oh yeah, I think the Panthers are. I just think that Teddy Bridgewater is just more consistent than Kirk Cousins, and that's why they're going to win. But we'll see. Now, what I want to do is, since time is short and of the essence right now, I'm going to be doing another show tomorrow night prior to the game. If you would like to hop on that,
let's do it. Let's do it, and let's jump on it. And yeah, I'll get the timing down a little bit more with this here. But I am excited about the entire NFL season. Like I said, we're building on Seahawks and Eagles tomorrow, Monday night game.
Yes.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time right after Thanksgiving and everything. Let me ask you something since we have a few moments. What did you think about the Turkey Day games that happened?
Absolute crap show with the Lions. But we expected that, right? And then
yes,
I thought that the Cowboys are going to win. I did not see them getting blown out the water by that like that. But hey, whatever.
Right now, a lot of people are being driven by their pride for good reasons, and like I say, people want to win. They don't get their usual cheers from the crowd and talking to people. They want to win. They want to walk off that field silently with a smile on their face, like, yeah, I just beat the crap out of this boy. And that's going to translate into unpredictability for the entire league. If you think it's unpredictable now, wait until the Cinderella teams slide into the playoffs, and all it takes is one win to go to the next level. You're going to be seeing people like they didn't drunk the fountain of youth.
And on that note, we're going to end this episode because the Eagles are going to be that team to slide in to the top of the NFC East this year.
We in there. Appreciate you, Jen. Get up with you soon, God.
So catch you tomorrow night, bro.
Indeed, man. One.
Peace.